Hi there everyone and welcome back to NTE. So in today's video what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at a loan repayment, right, where you have missed payments. Okay. So when you find this type of question in your exam, it's usually going to be guided, right? So our exams are very guided, right? So they will ask you to do certain things, right, at each step, right? So like something like um, 11.1.1, 11.1.1.2, something like that, right? So the question is going to guide you through it, right? I'm just giving you the question as a lump sum, right? So just one big question, right? But I am giving you a heads up that there is a few steps that we need to do on in this question, right? We can't just jump straight to the answer. Okay. So what does the question actually say? Right. So it says that there is somebody called Becky, right, and she bought a car for a value of 89,062 rand and 15 cents, right? So she paid 20% of the amount, right, of the specific amount of the car, right, in cash, right, and this is called the down payment, right? That's the initial payment that you make on anything that you buy on credit, right? So 20% of this car, right, was her down payment, right? Now the rest of the amount was paid using a loan, right? Now it says that the loan was granted, right, at an interest rate of 13.2% compounded monthly, right? The bank stipulated that the loan must be paid off over a period of 5 years, right? Payments must be made at the end of the month, starting 1 month after the loan was granted, right? And this is something normal that we see with loan repayments, right? And this is so that all the formulas that we use, right, our present value formulas, so that all of those things work properly. Okay. Now, the added thing to this situation, right, is that unfortunately, Becky missed her sixth, her seventh, and her eighth payment, right? She resumes her payments at the end of the ninth month, okay? Now we need to calculate what is Becky's increased monthly installment, okay? Or installments, right? Because she's going to carry on with the loan in order to pay off the loan in the stipulated 5 years, right? So unfortunately, um, Becky has put herself into a little bit of a situation here because now her monthly installments are going to increase due to those 3 months where she didn't make a payment. Okay, so now you should already be thinking that, well, if her monthly installments are going to increase, what was her monthly installment like originally? Like what was she paying before? Now that you are asking me to calculate her increased monthly installment, right? So you see that how if this was in an exam, that could be subsection question number 2 or something like that, right? So don't worry about being given a question just purely like this, right? Unless you're in the IEB curriculum, this is possible. But if you are doing the CAPS curriculum, don't worry, they are going to guide you through the question, right? So when we now realize that, okay, so we'll start off with just the basic calculation, right, which is just to calculate what is her actual loan amount, right? And her actual loan amount is going to be the amount of the car, right, the value of the car minus her down payment, okay? So on our calculator, we're going to have 20%, okay, which is 0.20, right? So 20% times the amount of the car, okay, and we get 17,812 rand and 43 cents, right? Now that's in our answer. We now need to take the value of the car and subtract the answer that we just got, right? So her loan amount, right, was actually 71,249 and 72 cents. Right? So this is the amount, okay, that was paid using her loan. Okay. Right, so now we've just jotted down those two values here at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Now let's go to a number line, right, and let's think about what's happening here in Becky's case, right? So we are going to have the start, right, of her loan, okay? So over here is T0, right? But then we have to start making payments 1 month after the loan was granted, right? So over here is when the loan was granted, right? And then 1 month later, okay, so T1, okay, then she's going to make her first monthly installment, right? So some value of X, okay? That's going to carry on for the second month. She's going to make a payment. The third month, she makes another payment. The fourth month, again another payment. The fifth month, again another payment. But then something happens here on the sixth month, okay? She misses a payment, okay? So nothing goes into this account. Again, for the seventh month, she misses a payment. And also for the eighth month, she misses a payment, right? Then she's going to resume, right, her payments on the ninth month. And now this is going to be some increased amount, right? Because they're going to charge her interest for all of these missed months, right? So for these 3 months that she missed, right? Because what happens at the bank, okay? Over here at T5, right? This is the end of the 5th month, but it's the start of the 6th month, right? So over here, immediately after she makes this payment, right? This monthly installment of X, right? They charge interest for the following month, right? So there's interest charged for the 6th month, and then she makes a payment in the 6th month, but she didn't do that, okay? Then they charge interest for the 7th month, okay? And then she must make a payment on the 7th month, but she didn't do that. Then they charge interest for the 8th month, right? And then she must make a payment for the 8th month, but she didn't do that, right? So then they charge interest for the 9th month, right? And then she's going to now start making payments, right, at the end of the 9 months. But now this is going to be a new monthly installment, and we'll just indicate it with a variable y. Okay. Then she's now going to continue, right, making these variable y payments, right, for a total. Okay, it's going to span all the way up to, well, she has to finish this in 5 years, right? So 5 times 12 is going to be 60 payments that she has to make in total. Okay, right, so if we look over here, right, we see that there's going to be a total of 1, 2, 3 months, right, of interest that they're going to charge her, right, because of these 3 months that she missed. Okay, all right, so now we can obviously see that we first have to calculate what this X is, right? So her original, right, that's going to be our first step, right? Finding out what was her original monthly installment. Okay, and that is going to be quite simple because that is just plugging into our present value formula, right, using the loan amount, right, and calculating the value of X, right? So let's do that, right? So if we just look at all the substitutions, right, you can see that your present value is going to be whatever the loan amount was, right? We're trying to calculate her initial monthly installments, right? The interest is the 13.2% compounded monthly, so we divide this by 12, right? She has to complete this in 5 years, which is 5 times 12, right? Or just this total of 60 payments, right? And we divide that by the interest, right? So if you work that out in your calculator, it works out to a monthly installment, right, of 1,628 and 45 cents. Okay. Alright, so now we've calculated her original monthly installments, right? Now the second thing we need to worry about, okay, is what is the balance on her loan, right? As soon as she's made this payment here at T5, right? So immediately after she makes that 5th payment, right? What is it that she was owing at that point, okay? Because whatever she was owing at that point, that is what actually gained the 3 months interest, right? Do you see that? Okay, so basically she has 60 payments to make, right? Immediately after she makes that fifth payment, right, then she's going to have only 55 payments remaining, right? So we're going to use that value of 55, right, as her number of payments, right? So this value of A, okay, that's going to be equals to 60 minus 5, okay? So that's the payments that she has to make, right, to settle the loan in 5 years, minus the payments she's already made, okay? So this is the payments that she's still owing, okay? So 55 payments, right? They use the word due, okay? So she still has 55 payments due, right? Now we're going to use this 55 to calculate the balance on her loan, right? Immediately after she's made this payment here at T5. Okay? Right. So when we do this on a calculator, right, we are going to use this entire decimal amount. Okay, so remember not to round off in your intermediate steps, right? So it's either the value is still in your calculator or you store it to one of these variables, A, B, C, or D, right? So let me just store it to make the calculation a bit easier, right? So I'm going to go Shift, Store A, right? And that little arrow now tells you that this value is in A, right? You press AC, you can just check that it's there. Fantastic, right? So now we have those monthly installments, right, times 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate. This was compounded monthly, right? Now this is to the exponent of negative 55, and it's still divided by the interest. Okay, and we get that at that point, right, the balance on her loan, right, is 66,932 Rand and 24 cents, right? Okay, so now we have the value, right, of X, right? We also have the balance on her loan, right, immediately after she's made her fifth payment. Okay, so now instead of paying off, right, this remaining amount in the 55 coming months, right, she misses 3 months, right? So because of those missed 3 months, we now need to calculate her new, right, loan amount. So we're going to have a new loan amount, right? And it's now a new loan amount due to the fact that she's going to be charged interest on this balance, right? So that's going to have to go into our compound interest formula, right? Because this acts as a lump sum of money that's just sitting in the bank, okay, and just generating interest, right? So we're going to have to substitute this into A is equals to P times 1 plus I to the N, okay? So this A is the new loan amount. Okay. Right. So this is the amount of money that's currently sitting in the bank that she's supposed to be paying off. Right, then you have 1 plus, right, it's in the same bank account, so the interest is still 0.32 divided by 12. Right, and this is going to be for 3 months. Okay. Right, so there's that amount. Okay, so notice that I don't clear anything from my calculator, right? You just need to take this amount now and multiply it by this bracket. So 1 plus 0.132 divided by 12, right? This is specifically 3 months interest. Okay, so now her new loan amount, okay, is 69,000, right? 165 and 39 cents. Okay, so now this is now the loan amount that she's going to pay off using these new monthly installments, right, which on our number line we've called Y, right. So that brings us back to the initial calculation that we did, right, in the present value formula. Now we're just going to be calculating her monthly installments all over again, right, but this is going to be representing the variable Y, and obviously it's going to be a higher amount. Okay. Right. So the calculation is going to look something like this, right? So your present value is now going to be this new loan amount over here, right? We now need to calculate the new monthly installments, right? And we just changed our variable to Y so that we can see the difference, okay? Now let's talk about this value of N over here. Okay, so there's two ways to evaluate this, right? One way that you can do it is simply by saying, okay, so you start now at the ninth month, okay, so 60 minus 9, right, that will give you 51, right, but then you need to bear in mind the fact that these payments are made at the end of the month. So in fact, when we are calculating this, she hasn't made this payment yet, right? So we're still owing that payment here at month number 9, right? So it's 51 plus 1, which is 52. Okay. Another way to do it is to say that, well, when we calculated her balance on her loan here at T5, right, she had a remaining 55 payments to go, right? Now, from those 55 payments, she missed 3 of them, right? So 55 minus 3, okay, gets you back to 52 payments that she has, right, now to pay off the loan in this required 5 years. Okay. Right, so this is still the same procedure. We're now going to calculate this new monthly installment, right? And we're just going to jot that in our calculator. Okay. So I'm going to take this new loan amount, right? Now I'm going to store it, Shift, Store, B, right? So I've stored it in B, okay? Let's just see that it's there. Cool, right? So we know that that amount, right? So we call B, right? So this amount is going to be divided by this entire fraction over here. And we can just type that whole thing in, right? So we'll start with our fraction pattern, right? And then we need 1 minus 1 plus 0.132 divided by 12 to an exponent of minus 52, okay? And then 0.132 divided by 12. Okay, so from there it tells us that our new, right, monthly installments now increase to a value of 1,753, okay, and 69 cents. Right. Another question they can add to this, right, is for you to calculate how much is the total amount, right, which was repaid to the bank by Becky, right. Now, if it had happened that our N, right, so our number of payments, right, were a decimal, right, number, okay, but significant decimal numbers, right, not like what we just saw, right, where we had 0.0000, that's not significant, right. So if we had something more significant like 354108 or something like that, right, then this total we paid, right, would be the number of payments made of your monthly installment, right, plus that last installment which is less than whatever your monthly installment is, right. But now in this case it's just going to be, right, 5 times her original monthly installment, which is this value of X, and if you can remember, that was 1,628 and 45 cents. Okay, so she paid 5 of these, right? Then after that, she paid 52, right, of this new monthly installment, 1,753 and 69 cents. Okay. So in total, Becky pays the bank 99,334 and 13 cents. Right. That's a lot of money. Right. And what was the original loan that she actually used or took? That was 71,249 and 72 cents. Okay. So the amount of interest that she paid is a total of 28,084 rand and 41 cents. Okay. Right, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something and I will see you next time.